Quench your thirst for knowledge. Join the 2024 BSA Alexandria Accord Conference with the theme Innovate, Carving the Path for Digital Transformation. October 17 to 18, 2024, 3 to 6 p.m. at the Crystal Ballroom of the Mandarin Plaza Hotel. Open to students and professionals. Register online at www.bsa-solutions.com/registration. Watch the live stream on our YouTube channel at BSA Solutions-Inc.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Are you guys excited to be here? Yes. Are you? Say that one more time. I want it louder. Are you guys excited? Yes. Good job. Yes, I am too. Very, very excited. Are we filling up the empty seats? So I would like to request our guests who are seated at the back to please occupy the seats here in the middle and on the left side near the front side, please. They're busy taking photos. That's okay. Okay, you guys are done. Can you please occupy the seats right over here? And you have some empty seats in the middle. Please occupy them. Perfect. So, again, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to BSA's this is our second year, Alexandria Accord Conference. And our theme for this year is INNOVATE, carving the path for digital transformation. And my name is Vincent, and I'll be your host for today's conference. Let me tell you something. This gathering signifies not only our commitment to innovation, but our shared ambition to lead the future of digital transformation. The theme couldn't be more timely, as we find ourselves in the intersection of rapid technological advancement and the growing need for organizations like us, BSA, to adapt and evolve. Yeah? So I encourage all of you here in this room. I want you all to approach today's session with, number one, curiosity, open mind, and willingness to embrace change. Let's just make this platform not just knowledge sharing, but also a launch pad for actions. Before we start formally, I would like to read to you the following guidelines, or in other words, the house rules. I've got a couple of them. Bear with me a minute. Number one, please silence or turn off your mobile phones and whatever device you have, switch them to silent mode. If you need to answer a phone call, please step out from the hall to accommodate the call. Our restroom is located outside the hall. When you step outside, it's to your left, then you turn right, and you'll see an orange barricade, and that's where the restroom is located. I went there myself, so I get to tell you where it is. So food will be served halfway during conference. However, candies, and we have a free flow of coffee that's available for you to take. So please help yourself and grab some cup of coffee. You may take photos and videos during the conference, but make sure it doesn't disrupt the speaker. So maybe avoid those flash and maybe walking here, standing here and taking a lot of photos. Except for we have official photographers, they're fine. Okay. Next one, engage in discussions, ask questions, and contribute to the learning environment. Ask questions you may have for the speakers or panelists. So later on, we will be giving you a set of QR codes. I'm not sure if it's already on your tables. So you will be scanning those QR codes, then you can ask questions using the online platform for you to ask questions. So we're not going to do the pass the mic, that's the old one, the old way of doing it. And take advantage of opportunities to connect. So it's all about network and collaborate. It's all about building positive professional relationship. And that's the goal. Okay, well, to formally start the session and this conference for today, it is my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, who is a visionary leader with 15 years of experience in accounting and finance with Ernst & Young and the IT BPM industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our COO and co-founder of BSA Solutions, Mr. Chino Chua.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you. mic is working. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So it is my honor to be the first speaker of this two-day conference, and you know what? I'm quite excited to actually share this keynote speech with you guys. But I do have my notes here, so I didn't memorize. So just bear with me. Anyway, I know every one of us is excited about digital transformation and technology as a whole. But how does this impact our humanity? Should we be scared because Skynet is coming? I'm not sure if you get the reference. Okay, Terminator. Well, I'm telling you, you shouldn't be. First of all, what? Oh. Oh my God. All right. So first things first, let us define what digital transformation is. So our friends over at McKinsey, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with McKinsey, but they're one of the biggest consultancy firms in the world. So how they define digital transformation is the fundamental rewiring of how an organization operates. So the goal of digital transformation should be to build a competitive advantage by continuously deploying tech or technology at scale to improve customer experience and lower down the cost. So once upon a time, business as usual was often seen as good enough. But at this time of age, where digital transformation is actually quite prevalent, being good enough is no longer enough. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching near perfection or even perfection, there's only one space left for you to innovate in. And where is that? That is in yourself. So humanity will change more in the next 20 years than in the previous 300 years. Right now, you are a central point of the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, augmentation, mobilization, automation, those fancy words. The list goes on. And we are living in one of the most exciting times in the history of mankind. And I am quite positive or optimistic about the future, but we definitely need to define and practice a more holistic approach to technology governance in order to safeguard the very essence of what being a human means. Now, science fiction is becoming a science fact. So what we see in movies 10 or 20 years ago is actually becoming a reality right now. Think about self-driving cars, Tesla. So electric cars are also coming over in the Philippines. No, BYD is you see a lot of BYD cars in the roads, and computers can now learn and adapt and even think. So the way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be quite different nowadays compared to 5 or 10 years ago. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you the one driving change, or are you being driven by it? So very soon, machines will be able to do things that once were the sole domain of human workers, whether you're a blue-collared worker or a white-collared one, such as understanding language, complex image recognition, using our body in highly flexible and adaptive ways. By then, we will no doubt be utterly dependent on machines in every aspect of our lives. So disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually then suddenly. We've been talking about AI and those things since 30 years ago. There were a lot of AI movies or in the 80s and 90s. But if you would notice, the progress was so slow from the 80s to the 2010s, but suddenly in the 2020 during the pandemic, the progress, it happened. quickly, quite suddenly. So the same thing. So things really have stopped happening gradually, and this change is exponential. So everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, sports, farms, and even our bodies are wired with sensors and now communicate with each other. Technology and humanity are converging, and we are at a pivot point. These changes are not just exponential, but they are also combinatorial. What do you mean by combinatorial? They amplify each other by creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data, the Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence, and deep learning fuels robotics. Technologies such as AI, cognitive computing, and deep learning may eventually lead to recursive improvements. When you say recursive, it means self-amplifying. And we are actually already seeing the first examples of robots that can reprogram or upgrade themselves. So AI systems could one day learn faster and outthink humans in almost every regard. However, anything that can be digitized, that cannot be digitized or automated, will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine exponential change, you've got to start engaging with what might be, and not just with what is, or what is currently happening. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 10 years from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business models. And the opportunity now is to be fluid enough to learn just in time and not just in case. Not single improvements, but complete transformations. Not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. The future doesn't just happen. The future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the 2-day conference.
All right, thank you, Sir Chino. Again, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Sir Chino. And you know what, I think I missed 2 important elements from the program, and I apologize, but since we skipped it, I agree with what Sir Chino said, that innovation starts from ourselves. And that's, for me personally, I call it my imagination. You know, you imagine things and then you do it, you make it happen. If you can still recall, maybe excluding the Gen Zs, you know that we used to have those keypad phones, the Nokia 3210. And while we're playing those phones, we're thinking, oh, I hope I can touch the screen, you know, those kind. And now, today, we all have touchscreen phones, smartphones. And we used to imagine that before. Okay, so I had one, 3210. Okay, well, let's continue and proceed with the program. So this time, we'll be introducing our first speaker. Our first speaker will actually take us to like a journey into embracing digital transformation. He is a multifaceted project manager with 15 years of combined experience in customer relations, project coordination, and project management in the Philippines and in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Jomar Intong.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Are we okay? All right. thank you so much for inviting me today at our second annual leadership conference, the Alexandria Accord. It's really an honor to be here, and especially I'm very excited to discuss and talk about this topic, embracing digital transformation, a journey that we take together. I think this topic is really important to every one of us, not just for our professional role, but also in how we deal in everyday things in our world. Now, let's be honest. When we talk about digital transformation, sometimes it sounds like it's very overwhelming and something has to change big time and we need to get hands on our tech right then and there, but actually it's not. Well, it's not about changing everything overnight. It's about moving forward. So step by step, with a purpose, exploring new things and how to work, to lead, and to grow. But like any other journey, it needs direction, right? So this is where leadership comes in. So as leaders are the ones who guides the way. And leaders are also the ones who set the tone. And leaders are also the ones helping our teams move forward. When we talk about digital transformation, it's easy to talk about things like gadgets, tech, and stuff. But let us not forget about the people. Every big change, digital or not, it starts with a vision. And that vision comes from leaders like every one of us here. Now, as a project manager, I've learned that leaders don't just manage change. Leaders actually drive it. So it is important, and it's our role as leaders that we need to create an environment for our teams to to make them feel safe when they think differently, and when they think outside of the box, and when they take risks. And that also includes, committing a mistake and learning from it. So in my experience leading a project, I've seen how leadership sets the pace for digital change. So for example, when we started using real-time data in managing our project, it's really not about letting our team quickly adapt to a specific process or specific technology, but it's actually about showing our team that data can help us make faster and smarter decisions. These are decisions that lead to a better result. Now, empowering our people, how do we empower our people? We need to remember that our people are our greatest asset. Technology is only as good as the people who use it. That's why it's very important that we provide these tools and the confidence to our team to make them better at their work. So we have already seen how using collaboration tools have greatly affected or have greatly changed how we work together. But the real change happens when our team is already comfortable in using these tools. That's why it's very important that we have training and support, and it's also important that we include learning and growing in our culture so that nobody feels like they're left behind. Now, breaking down the silos with collaboration. Another key part in this journey is collaboration. Digital transformation doesn't belong to just one department. Actually, no. It involves everyone working together and sharing ideas and breaking down the barriers between the teams. So a perfect example for this is we recently have an initiative in our organization. We have the cross-departmental review for our company policies. So we have leaders and managers from different departments come together to review our policies and make sure that these policies are fit for our organizational needs and wants. So this teamwork has already shown us that every department has a role to play in our digital journey. And when we work together, we create stronger, more practical solutions that everyone can use. So as we move forward, we need to keep working together like this. Why? Because collaboration helps us solve problems faster and smarter. Now, let's talk about technological advancements in project management. Over the years, we were able to adapt to some project management software like Microsoft Project and Power BI. So let me talk about Microsoft Project first. Well, Microsoft Project is very useful for us, especially when handling or managing a large-scale project that encompasses like multiple departments across our organization, because it helped us in creating detailed timeline, and we were also able to assign tasks efficiently, and we were able to also track our progress against our milestones. And this tool was also able to help us in breaking down complex projects and into manageable phases, and with its reporting capabilities, we were able to use these reports and directly send it to our stakeholders, which is more faster, more efficient, and more effective. Another one is Power BI. So Power BI really changed how we visualize and analyze data, especially in project. So we were actually able to pull out data from multiple sources, and we were able to create dashboards and data analytics from it. And these data analytics was able to help us in managing the progress of our project. So it was able to control, our project budget, control our timeline, and also able to manage our resources. And I think aside from that, it was also able to let us identify some early signs of project delays and some potential risks. So it actually made us, help us in our decision making to become more proactive than being reactive. And I know both of these softwares or tools are not readily available for everyone. I know that there are some other options or alternatives out in the market. I know you are familiar with Monday.com. Yeah, Monday.com. We have Asana, and we also have ClickUp. And I think they offer the same functionality with Project and Power BI altogether. Okay. So aside from these, we also have automation. Now in our organization, we are using Power Automate. So with Power Automate, we are automating those, especially those, repetitive and manual tasks. Before we were using Power Automate, we usually manually send out notifications to members who are involved with the project, like emails using Outlook. You need to compose emails, and then when the task is already due or task is about to be due or there's no progress at all, you have to manually send an email. But now with this, it is already being automated. So notifications are sent in the background. So we have more time to do more strategic work. And not just that, we also streamlined Power Automation with data entry. So we integrated Power Automate with Microsoft Forms. So we have centralized all the organization surveys and forms. So whenever someone answers that survey or that form, it goes directly to a centralized SharePoint site. And then we use that information from the site and integrate it with Power BI and use it for data analytics purpose. Right? So these technologies aren't just making our processes more efficient, but actually they are transforming the way we work. And it gives us the ability to become more flexible, more collaborative, and more data-driven in all aspects of project management. Now, as we continue,
Now, as we continue carving our path towards digital transformation, it's important to remember that this isn't just about, how fast you adopt to a new technology. No, it's not. But it's about leading your team with a purpose and making sure that they thrive to a fast-changing environment, and also making sure that they collaborate with one another to get a result that is usable or better for everyone. The tools that I've mentioned earlier, they are just there to help our jobs make easier and results better. But I think at the center of it all is the people that is driving this transformation forward. When we trust our people or our team to become more collaborative or to embrace change, we are actually creating something greater than efficiency. We're creating lasting impact. Now, I know change isn't always easy and journey may not always be as smooth, but every step that we take, that step is for something better. Now, if we're open to new ideas and we help each other along the way, I am sure that we are creating a stronger, more agile organization that will always be ready whenever change is coming. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jomar, for sharing that to us. Really insightful.
Thank you.
And I agree when Jomar said that change is not easy. Change is painful. But oftentimes, change always helps us. It's like it will propel us to become a better version of ourselves, for us to improve, grow, and we develop. Right. Before we proceed to the next speaker, talking about digital transformation, I just want to share another story. I'm just revealing how old I am today. So during my first job, I was a legal secretary. And we don't have computers in the office. We have what we call as typewriters. I'm not sure if the young ones can relate to that. So we have typewriters. So I've got lots of clients waiting online and asking me can you help me do my special power of attorney? Can you help me do my like a certificate? So I have to type it, using the typewriters. So you have to be fast and it has to be accurate, because one mistake, that means you have to use the correction fluid, and you have to, sometimes you have to do it all over again. But again, the digital transformation, the technology that we have changed the way we work today. So the young ones, lucky guys. But of course, us, we can still take advantage of it. And it's just knowing about what's the perfect tool for you, understanding what's the tool that will best work for you. Okay, let's proceed to our next speaker. So we have a topic that's critical to thriving in today's fast evolving digital landscape, which is web design. And our next speaker is an accomplished brand and marketing specialist with over 10 years of combined experience in web design, brand and marketing management, and of course, project management. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Karen Lechoko.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here to speak to you today. My name is Karen, and I help my clients with establishing their brand systems and their marketing processes. I do a lot of things in the marketing space, specialize in many things. However, by heart, I am a web designer. And you might think this is not how a web designer looks like in the wild, and you are not wrong. but for the purpose of today's presentation, we need to doll up a little bit. So here we go. So, how do you succeed in today's digital landscape through web design? So to start us off, I'd like to ask you guys, what is a website? Anyone? Oh, we have a quite quiet crowd. But no problem. So some people will see it as just an online version of their catalogs, of their product catalogs. And the purpose of a website is different for each person, depending on your role. You will see it as a different purpose as a salesperson. You will see it differently as an owner of the business. So the common denominator of all those perspectives are three things. So a website has three sort of phases. So first, it is a tool for your leads and your customers. So people always have problems. They always look for solutions. So how do they use your website? So it's their tool to research more about their problem, to research possible solutions to their problems, and decide on what to choose. And ideally, you want them to choose you through your website. Next is it's a tool for your own internal team. So in my client, our sales teams has a great analogy and great perspective on using our website. So for them, they use it to build their quotes. They use it to present to potential customers. So in their further logic, if we can see it in our own website, so our customers can see those products and services as well. So that will negatively impact our business. And lastly, a website is a tool for your business. So it's running 24/7. So basically, it's a 24/7 brand ambassador and marketing team campaigning for you. It's your 24/7 sales team selling for you. And it's a 24/7 support team for your customers if they need help any time of the day. In the digital world, your website is the gateway to your brand. When you want to know more about a business, you tend to look for their website. You tend to go to their about page to learn more about them, how they started, what they offer, etc. So, if your website does all these things, what should you do? What should you keep in mind? This takes us to our first takeaway. It is that your website should be the most updated tool in your business toolkit. Now, I'd like to introduce you perhaps a foreign concept to you guys, the attention economy. So, should I ask you still? Are you going to answer my question? So, at the top of your head, just look at the top of your head, what do you think attention economy means? Attention span, yes. Yes, that's part of it, yes. Anyone else? Sir? So as the world becomes more digital, the more it operates in an attention economy. So what does that mean? What does that look like? So these are the characteristics of an attention economy. So first, in the digital age, attention is the most valuable currency. These days, so many things are accessible for free. It's not even, there's no barrier even anymore to sign up for things. And yeah, as I can see with social media sites, even trading sites are free now. So you can just create an account right away, many things. Second is that the competition to capture, maintain, and convert attention is tougher than ever. There are more businesses, there are more websites, there are more places to be discovered and to compete in. And lastly, as professionals, as businesses, we are challenged to find better ways to deliver information and value fast. So, this takes us to our second takeaway. So your website now is more than just like an online catalog. It should be is a vital component in your digital transformation strategy. So I'd like to start you guys with what web design is. So web design is beyond just creating beautiful websites. It's the art, it's the practice of capturing, maintaining, and converting attention online. So in my experience, I found that these are the pillars of effective web design. And let's start with the first one. user and brand knowledge. It's not enough that you know what your business is or what your offerings are. How does that connect to your users? How do they behave? So before you build anything, get to know more about your target audience, their age, or the demographic details. So by age, you might design it differently, etc. So there are many scenarios, so it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to web design. Next is it needs to be fast-loading. So all the succeeding points, the remainder 3, will not matter if your website can't even load in the first 3 seconds. Going back to attention economy, even you guys, if a video can't load, like can continue loading, if a reel can't even like continue playing, you just scroll up and proceed to the next video. And you won't, most of the time you don't even come back to let it load. So everything should be fast loading. Next is good and responsive visuals and copy. So good is self-explanatory, no? It's, you should use good imagery, crisp as much as possible. And your wording on your website should be compact. Once again, attention span. It should be compact, and your buttons, your call to actions should be clear. People will actually want to click your buttons and your whatever you want them to do. So that's good. And responsive means, what does that mean? So you provide the same web experience across all devices. So it's not just nice to use on computers. It should be on tablets as well, and especially on mobile. So trivia, Google actually penalizes websites that are not mobile responsive. So penalized means, even if you have just the most beautiful website in the world, if it's not ready for mobile, you rank lower on search results, and you don't want that, because anything 3 or more, the third more, you're forgotten. You're pretty much forgotten. You want to be in the first or second. Next is low interaction cost. So this is a UI UX concept. Basically, it means how fast can you bring your users to what they want? How many buttons do they need to click? How many pages do they need to load? How many like drop-down choices must they make? So it's the mental load. The lower the mental load, the better the overall experience. And lastly, it's continuous feedback and improvement. So your website is not a work of art that needs to be preserved for millions of years. It needs to be regularly maintained. It needs to be like updated regularly. And how do you know what to improve? It's through feedback from your users and your internal team. So that should be your like guidance in what to improve. Yeah. So takeaway number 3, good website design attracts, however, great web design converts visitors into customers. So let's look at some fun examples. So yeah, I'd like to show you guys just maybe 3 websites right now. So this one is let's start with the fun one. So this is Prometheus Fuels. So they're a startup company that offers like alternative, like clean fuels. So what they did with their website is that because they are a startup, they still have a lot of story to tell. Compared to if you go to the Shell website, it's very corporate. It's like printed, like a PDF. But they chose to do it in a very interactive way. So please scroll. So if you scroll down a little bit, like it's like you're in a game. So it's interactive. You get to make the car run faster and all. And as you go along, you learn more about them. And because it's really interactive, you can see on the scroll bar on the right side that it's a very long homepage. Because if it's just like a PDF looking, you won't go like further. It's not fun. Yeah. So that's the first example of a website. The next one is rather different. So this is a Norwegian law firm. So what would their design, how would their design decisions be guided? So what they need to do is establish trust really fast. So how did they do that on their website? So if we go back to the top, it's very neutral colors. They just say lawyers, expertise, that's all. And no fancy animations, unlike the first one. And then if you scroll down, this actually, they just show their people immediately. And with each visit, these people are shuffled. So you're not just seeing the owners first, it's everyone, even this one, they just show the project assistant, not even the owners right away. So this is a good example with design decisions guided by their brand motivations. So, next one, please. Okay, so let's look at something closer to home. Without phone, it's a good brand to look out. Like right now, they're doing so many fun things. But what I like on their website is paano ko sa last na image sa sa taas lang. Kanang gallery niya, miss like kanang button, kanang dots. The last one maybe. So it's a video of this furniture range in its all its configurations. So it comes in a single video. You can see that it's offered as a 2-seater, 3-seater, L-shaped configuration, and etc. So they're doing a lot more, and their brand strategy is really changing right now. So it's a really fun company to watch right now. Let's go back to the slide, please. Thank you. So yeah, so those are some examples that we look at. So as you can see, each website is different depending on their goals and their users and their goals and their users. So yeah, so takeaway number 4, this is my last takeaway for you guys. So if you're confused where to begin digitally transforming your brand, you can start with a website. So it's the most accessible tool out of all your marketing sales tools. So it should reflect how your business grows as years go by. So here's some recommendations. So know your users, both your external users and your internal users. So how do they look for information and how do they decide? And you meet them halfway through your website. So don't lose sight of your North Star. What's your North Star? Your purpose, your goals, and your users. So design decisions and what tools you use must be guided by them. Do a website audit. This is the third one. So ideally, you do it every 2 to 3 years to reflect the growth of your company. And lastly, treat your website as a tool. As again, it's not a work of art, it's a tool. So you need to keep sharpening it and uncover features that are worth having or not worth having anymore, and what's not serving or serving your goals still. So to wrap this up, web design is about creating impactful online experiences that enable both your visitors and your business to reach their goals. So if you can do this, you can succeed in today's digital landscape through web design. Thank you.
All right, another round of applause for Karen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Okay, I'm thinking of like sharing another story about myself, but maybe I'll skip that. So you guys must have received the QR code with you right now. So you can start scanning the QR code, and then you can start asking questions. You can direct your questions towards the first two speakers that we have, Jomar and Karen. So for this next part of the program, the plenary debrief, before we dive into this part of the program, let's take a moment to reflect on the key takeaways from today's discussions, the last two topics. So I invite you to consider these questions. What is one idea or insight from the last two speakers that stood out to you? Okay, they're still arranging it. Okay, so how can we apply these concepts to our ongoing digital transformation efforts within BSA? And what obstacles might we face, and how can we collaboratively overcome them? Okay, so I guess we're ready? All right, so for the plenary debrief, I would like to invite one of our TCX, Coach Monica. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Patanggal naman podium.
May we call on Jomar and Karen to sit here in front for our debrief. By the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Monica. I am 2 months old in BSA. I am your moderator for today's panel. I'm excited to guide this discussion about digital transformation and succeeding in today's digital landscape through web design. Let's dive in and explore. If you have any questions, the QR code is available in your table. At a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys ready?
Yes.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I have some questions here from our audience. Let's start with Jomar. So, how do you ensure your team adapts to new technologies and tools during the digital transformation process? Again, how do you ensure your team adapts to new technologies and tools during the digital transformation process? Your timer starts now. Oh, joke.
Timer.
There.
Hello, thank you.
All right. I think especially in project management, it's always important to sell the idea first. It's like showing or presenting a proposal. So you need to get the buy-ins of the people that you work with, especially when we're talking about digital transformation. It's about using a different tool, which is something new for them. So sometimes some people are really hesitant to use it. So it's really important to compare it to them why we're doing this. Provide them, or let them understand why we're doing this. And you also need to provide them the benchmark is what we're currently doing and what's supposed to be our current goal. So in order for them to understand, you need to get their buy-ins. And also it's very important that we have support and training. So as managers, it's really important to understand your team, that how they take this new opportunity. I call it opportunity because it's something that, right? And you also need to provide them support as well, because it's not all the time that they are able to learn that, say, new process that fast. So it's, again, as I mentioned in my speech, it's not about how fast we adapt to that specific change, to a specific technology, but it's how we support them and guide them until the end.
Thanks, Jomar. Of course, me as a person, if I don't know what the objective is, how would you like me to adopt?
Yeah.
It is very important to know the reason behind it and what's in it for me.
Yeah.
Same thoughts, audience?
Yes. I agree.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Jomar. For Karen,
Given that attention is often seen as the most valuable currency in today's digital age, how do you capture and maintain your audience focus amidst constant distractions? Again, given that attention is often seen as the most valuable currency in today's digital age, how do you capture and maintain your audience focus amidst constant distractions?
So thank you. So that's someone who asked this question. So the first advice I would like to give is what's in my presentation earlier. It's about knowing your user. So it's not always like crazy visuals or something. You need to know what their motivations are and what their goals are, and then you can meet them halfway through there. So it's not about like even sometimes I get turned off by excessive animations or something. You need to know what's important to them so that you can show it right away when they visit your website. So if they're a decision maker, for example, with my client, most of our visitors are decision makers. So they want to know, they want to see our catalog right away. And if they can't find it like in the navigation menu, they tend to like leave or like just call us right away. So we don't want that. We want the website to be their like information hub. So it all boils down to knowing your visitors, knowing your users, and so that you know what to show right away on your website.
Which I agree, know your targeted audience. So if your targeted audience are Gen Zs, then you must know how to impress them when they visit your website. Thanks, Karen. Some questions here again. Jomar? From Hopeful Narwag. At what point do you need an information security expert when you move towards digital transformation? Again, at what point do you need an information security expert when you move towards digital transformation?
I see. Well, it is also a part of project management. You also need to understand what project you're currently working on. So it varies from one project to another. But when you say you have to consult someone from, especially in information security, you also need to understand what you're gearing towards. What is your goal for that specific project? And especially right now, I would say that we have an example, especially we're currently doing an ISO 27001 certification in BSA. So it's really important to involve that expert, because as project managers, we're not experts to everything. So we're just there to manage the project, but we need to consult someone who is an expert, for example, that information security officer. So you need to consult with that specific person for you to, also comply, because when you're doing a project that is sensitive and also need to be compliant with information security, you need to make sure that every process that you make is compliant to that requirement.
Yeah, correct. Because at the end of the day, we must understand if you do not comply to any information security, what's going to happen next.
Yes, that is correct. And also for ISO 27001, we do have certain requirements and controls that we need to follow. So it's very important that we need to consult with an expert, especially information security officer.
Thanks, Jomar. There's a follow-up question in here.
Oh my.
What level of expertise is appropriate for an SME or a subject matter expert level or a startup company? Again, what level of expertise is appropriate for a subject matter expert level or a startup company?
For me, when you say a subject matter expert, you are already a master at the subject, right? Yeah. So there's nothing for you to question it about, right? If you're saying that, how can you gauge someone who is a subject matter expert. So it means that that person is already a master at his craft. So I would say that when you become the subject matter expert at a startup company, you should already know what you're doing. You should already know what are the foundations of the processes that you're doing, because as an SME, it's also your responsibility to answer the questions from your peers. So what would you do if someone asks you about something that you do not know?
Correct.
Right?
So research is very important.
Yes.
You cannot answer a person if you yourself don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. It means you're not a master of the subject.
Right. Thanks, Jomar. Question for Karen. How do we safeguard the youth whose minds are still developing from apps and targeted marketing that capitalize so much on dopamine hits to hold our attention, knowing that digital barriers are now so low? Again, how do we safeguard the youth whose minds are still developing from apps and targeted marketing that capitalize so much on dopamine hits to hold our attention, knowing that digital barriers are now so low?
Okay, thank you for that question. So I think this question went beyond web design, so it's technology in general.
Yeah.
So at the top of my head, this is where their guardians come in, actually, because if they were not guided on how they enter the because they're already living in a highly digital world. So we the older generation, we were the transition population, if that makes sense. So it's our job to guide them to what could be like the dangers out there. So it's helping them manage their time away from the digital world. So if you just show them that everything is digital, and then they don't have like they don't appreciate the world like offline. So that's where I think that's where the sort of danger comes in, because they don't appreciate that they're living in a physical world, and they need to know that it's a tool. It's not like their entire world. Their world is in here. So if you don't show that to them, they get consumed by everything digital, and unfortunately there are some unethical like apps or websites out there that just disregard that they have sort of a moral like responsibility as well, as like technology developers, to not fully consume the attention of their users. So I think in a nutshell, it's like it's up to the guardians of the youth to help them realize that it's not just 100% like out there. There's a world in here.
Yeah,
Virtual
so
reality.
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, or if I'm getting it correctly, we, especially parents, should be the one taking care of our children, especially when it comes to their, how do you call it, when the time that they log into a website, they check YouTube. Just to share, my son is only signed into YouTube Kids. He is not into the real YouTube, because we know what they can watch if we will not really be protecting them from those kind of stuff.
If I can add something else, Fabio, sorry. So this is where I read it somewhere that before you expose your little ones to the digital world, so you need to build them up like as their own person first, because we can't control them 24/7 what they find online, like in their beds when they're alone. So it's up to you as parents to just general advice to parents to strengthen them first, so that they know how to navigate out there. So it's not the digital world that's dangerous, it's also physical world. So if you don't strengthen them at their core first, they can go anywhere that we don't know how to guide them. So
Sometimes it's not the digital world, sometimes it's the user. Right? Okay, thanks, Karen. Do we still have time? All right. John, there's a question here for you. With the advent of AI, do you think it will replace project managers and product management will go away? Why?
Just a direct answer to that question. Well, project management actually relies more on your objective judgment. So AI can actually help like the say transactional aspect of project management. But in terms of decision making, it still needs human intervention. So I don't think that AI would be replacing project managers or project coordinators.
Just to add, for AI, who is the one inputting those, what do you call it? Prompts. It's the user itself.
Yes, correct.
So just to back up, I don't see AI as, replacing project managers and project management. It's you who will decide if you want AI to take over on what you're currently doing.
And I'd just like to add as well that it's really important that we understand the usage of AI, especially at work.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we moderate the usage of AI because, you don't get 100% accurate answers from AI.
Yeah.
So it's also important, especially as project managers, you need to research about something with a specific reference and make sure that those references are legitimate as well.
Right. Speaking about AI, automation versus innovation, shouldn't we be looking at creating disruptive tools geared towards creating new business avenues for the company rather than paying for tools others also use?
This is actually more on product development, but yes, it is possible for us to develop like processes in-house compared to using third-party AI softwares, which are more expensive than the usual. But it's also important that when you are managing a project, you are also needing a budget.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that that budget is within your allowed threshold
per year.
right? But yeah, it is possible that we can definitely do that.
Thanks, Jomar. Talking about AI, I want to go back to Karen. Do you think will AI take over web designers given how things are automated nowadays? Do you see that as a threat or something that, can challenge you being a web designer?
So actually there are tools now that make creating websites a lot faster. I won't ignore the existence of those tools. There are even reels out there showing people with no experience at all. They're showcasing that this app just helped me send a website to my client that I had no minimal input only. So yeah, those tools exist. But again, these AI tools have not reached a level yet that replaces human creativity, and those little quirks about user interaction, because people no matter how you design your website, people always find weird ways to go to a certain page on your site. They find it through through a navigation or a different button somewhere. So even you as a designer, I designed this to be accessible through this path. How did they find it through this way? So yeah, I'm still confident that human the creativity of the web designer is still the start of the show, even the existence of those. So those tools just help quicken tasks, give more inputs, more options possibly for your client to show them this is one design that we can consider, another one, which ones do you want to take? So yeah, they are tools, not threats. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. I think it's also helpful, the tools that we see right now. It can save us time. It can help us build things that we thought we couldn't build during, I think, last 10 years of our lives. So not as a threat, but we can use it to advance whatever we have nowadays. Questions? I still have 2 questions here. Karen, I think they're asking for some tips from you. What are the 3 top soft and hard skills needed to create an amazing website, being a website designer?
So 3 each. Hard and soft skills, miss.
Right.
So okay, let me cook for a moment. So yeah, hard skills. First is even if you're an entry level or advanced level, so first and foremost is to ability to understand and edit code. Because even if you're a drag and drop designer, that I'm currently doing that with my clients so that I can edit as they I share my screen to them, and it's they want to change this and that, so I don't need to show them code to adjust what they want to adjust, the size of this button, etc. So yeah, the ability to still understand and edit code is one hard skill.
Just out of curiosity, do you learn that, or do you need to take courses for you to learn and read codes?
Yeah. So there's a lot of it's your appetite as a a developer or designer, then it's not to if you're just really eager to learn, you can learn anything. So my advice is for learning code business to understand the syntax. It's getting technical, but it's understanding what's the basic structure of things like line items, how to close something, open something. So yeah, just study maybe those formats first. So that's one hard skill I can think on top of my head. But soft skill is really relating to people, so relating to your clients and relating to your end users. So that's the one skill I'm confident that AI can't replace yet, very soon. So how do you understand your client? So sometimes your client will just say, I want a nice website. So can you break down nice to me, please? So more often than not, what they want is beyond the aesthetics. It's more I want my customers to find this one. I want them to know that we are the experts of this one. So how do you translate that into layout? So yeah, how you relate to your client. And does it need to be 3? Can I just write to wherever you are?
No pressure, no pressure, Karen. I think Jomar, same with Karen, being a project manager, what are the tips that you can advise to our Gen Zs if in the future they also want to be someone like you, a project manager?
I think let me start off by saying it's really important to have a good communication skill and people skills when you are in project management. Why? Because number one, you always collaborate with a lot of teams and a lot of people. And you also need to properly communicate to which specific person that you're communicating with, because you're also communicating with stakeholders and your partners and your suppliers if available. So it's really important that you have that kind of communication skills. You need to understand the person. And then another one is you also need to have conflict management, right? Because in project management, you deal with a lot of attitudes, and you need to you deal with a lot of behaviors, and you need to understand their behaviors. You need to also time the the kind of conversations and the kind of topics that you need to talk about, because you do not want to engage into a conversation and ends up with a conflict, right? And when conflict arrives, you also need to understand when to rebut, what to rebut, and if it's okay not to answer at all, right? And also time management, because it's also really important in project management that you need to prioritize all the tasks throughout the timeline. So you need to make sure that those tasks are completed on time, or those tasks are overdue, and you also need proper decision making as a project manager, because it's not all of the time that you need to get consultation from your stakeholders, because your stakeholders trusted you to do the decision making. I think that's it for me.
All right, thanks, Jomar. All right, so to wrap it up, together, I think we can navigate this evolving landscape and lead our organization towards sustained progress and success. That's all that I have for now. I think after this one, there is a coffee break. We will be back. We still have 2 speakers, so let's wait for Jamie and Rain. 15 minutes break for everyone. Coffee break. Vince, back to you.
All right, well, a big round of applause for everyone. The new host, Coach Monica. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. So make sure to come back to me on time. 15 minutes. Very good, very good. Okay, 4:45 p.m. Enjoy.
Quench your thirst for knowledge. Join the 2024 BSA Alexandria Accord Conference with the theme, Innovate, Carving the Path for Digital Transformation. October 17 to 18, 2024, 3 to 6 p.m. at the Crystal Ballroom of the Mandarin Plaza Hotel. Open to students and professionals. Register online at www.bsa-solutions.com/registration. Watch the live stream on our YouTube channel at BSA Solutions-Inc.
Every quarter, BSA Solutions comes up with creative ways to boost morale, build camaraderie, while having tons of fun. March 16, 2024, Saturday, we found ourselves traveling up north to the beautiful municipality of Compostela.
Hi everybody, my name is Nico and we're here at Cascades Nature Park for the BSA Brigade 2024. Ongoing right now is our team building activity. Check it out.
Led by Mr. Jigger Castillon, the team building activities were upbeat, engaging, mind-boggling, physical, yet insightful. Our moderators prepared games and activities for the morning and afternoon sessions, much to the delight of the participants. Communication is key during these sessions. One must be able to foster great relations with each team member. Everyone has to be aligned to one goal and hold each member accountable. Roles within the group dynamic is vital. There has to be a leader, one to stir the pot, a person of authority, one to motivate the team to consistently talk to each other, cooperate and coordinate. At the same time, the team has to buy into the plan. From what we observed, most of the teams who practiced these won the games. The next set of games test the team's ability to gel together and move as one. Some are successful, while others did struggle. Nevertheless, it's never a dull moment. May we direct your attention to Exhibit A.
Right now we are Team BSA.
Team buildings play a crucial role in this professional landscape. Through various activities, one may discover hidden talents, encourage open communication, be able to navigate challenges together, and collaborate effectively. With a shared purpose, the entire experience becomes memorable and promotes a positive work experience. Ultimately, the goal for the team building is for the community to channel all the learnings and apply them to their day-to-day activities in the office, all the way to their interactions with friends and family. The team building activities got everyone to mingle, get along, and learn from each other. Challenge accepted and knocked down one by one. The BSA Virtual Brigade had their fair share of fun too. As you can see, everyone cannot contain the smiles on their faces. This truly was one for the books, and we can't wait for the other surprises BSA Solutions has in the works. BSA Solutions, in partnership with the Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center, conducted a blood donation drive last May 9, 2024. Some of our associates eagerly volunteered to donate blood. The act of donating blood has potential health benefits. Studies suggest that when done regularly, blood donation lowers blood pressure. It also reduces the risk of heart attack by lowering high iron levels. Also, did you know that donating a pint of blood burns about 650 calories? Well, now you do. We hope this video encourages you to donate blood whenever you can. With its short shelf life, there's always someone needing blood transfusions somewhere, be it for surgeries, accidents, chronic illnesses, and even childbirth. Who knows? The next life you save could possibly be your own, or someone you know. Special thanks to the VSMMC Blood Services Unit and to our volunteers for being our unsung heroes in this initiative.
Hey everyone! Here are the highlights of the BSA Valentine's Day event with the theme Heartbeat Heroes, Saving Hearts and Spreading Love.
Happy Valentine's, everyone!
The community gathered at the pantry for an afternoon of great music. Our speakers engaged the crowd with topics ranging from matters of the heart to heart health and how it affects our other body functions. Special thanks to our speakers, Afzan Yas and Sheila Fernandez. This event added another milestone for the company with the first BSA Idol 2024. The Valentine's Kahoot got everyone competitive. With their cell phones, the community quickly answered all the trivia questions. One person dominated this game and beat everyone to it with her vast knowledge of pop culture and her fast fingers.
One minute.
Heart-shaped chocolates, along with inspirational messages, were given to
Introduce na
our
kayo yung next
associates
speaker.
by their respective managers.
Field of talent acquisition and currently a senior recruitment coordinator for a healthcare staffing agency based in Australia. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Jameline Days.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for the applause. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Jameline Dais, but all of you can call me Jamie. I'm a senior recruitment coordinator for a client in PSA. And I'm calling my presentation today as Traversing the Digital World the Recruiter Way. Because if you're going to think about it, if you're planning to join a company, who are the first people you'll meet? Recruiters, very good. And then the role of the recruiters is really to guide you on how to apply, interview you, and if you're finally onboarded, they will tour you around the company, right? So that is also my role today. I'm going to give you a little tour of how digital transformation changed the recruitment industry, okay? Now, it's going to be possible to talk about digital transformation if we're not going to talk about BSA itself, who is the organizer of this conference. And there we go. So I'm going to share to you how I arrived in BSA. So this is my BSA story. So it started when I applied and sent my resume because I'm a referral. And then I had my initial interview. And then I waited for 6 months. Yes, the dedication is, I waited for 6 months. And then finally, I was approved. And then I had the client interview. And then I also did the Spark hire. So who among you here had encountered Spark hire? Yes, all of us, right? So for those who don't know what Spark hire is, especially to our online viewers, so it's a talent assessment platform. Okay, so you're gonna take videos, you're gonna answer some question using Spark hire. And then after I did the Spark hire, that's when I was onboarded. Now, what I really like about the whole recruitment that this company adopts is that I did all of that at the comfort of my own home in Northern Mindanao. So I wasn't traveling from Iligan to Cebu and then Cebu to Iligan to do all of that. I was just in my room, and then I'm wearing my quarantine fashion. So if you're not familiar with that or you forgot what that is, it's when you wear your best or your formal top and then your favorite pajama as your bottoms. Anyways, they wouldn't know. They would just see here. So yeah, and that is an indication of why this industry really needs digital transformation. Because with digital transformation, it turned what used to be old, traditional, and time-consuming into something that is more streamlined, more flexible, and more timely. Okay? And an important factor for recruiters is their ability to connect and their ability to interact. Because we as recruiters, we're the ones who are bringing in these talents to the organization. And everyone is in the digital world. We have to be there as well. So that is why we need to embrace digital transformation. And another thing that I want to point out is that with the traditional way, recruiters are limited with physical boundaries. What if the talent we need is in Manila, but you're in Cebu? Would you ask the talent to come to Cebu, or will you go to Manila? But with digital transformation, that is not a problem anymore. And I'll share more about that on how I do my role as a recruiter. So just to give you a, like a little bit background, I'm part of a staffing agency. We are a group of 9 beautiful, enigmatic, charismatic, and lovely recruiters. Majority of us are single, by the way. Just shooting my shot there. But yeah, we recruit healthcare workers in Australia. Now, isn't it surprising how we are here in Cebu, but our member pool is in Australia? So until now, I still have a hard time explaining what my job is to my parents because they don't have this technology. And the same thing that was shared earlier, my mom used to use a typewriter. So that's her generation. And then this is mine. So, and then I'm gonna also share to you how digital technology enables me to work even though I'm not in Australia. We use digital recruitment tools. So I'm gonna share to you the things that we do. Number 1 is what we call talent searching or screening. And a tool that I want to share with you is Seek. So if we're gonna post a job ad on Seek, we just give it a day, and then by the next day, there are already 100 applications there. Now, that's gonna be impossible to go through each. So what's nice about Seek is that they adopted this AI filtering system. So before we post a job ad, we can create parameters. So let's say my client says, this applicant should have 2 years experience. I'm gonna put in the parameters, 2 years experience. This applicant should know how to do or how to administer medication. I'm gonna add it there as well. Or this applicant should also know how to use a wheelchair. I'm gonna add it as well. So that by the time I have the 100 application, I'll just turn on the filtering system and we're down to the last 20 to 30 applicants. So that's more manageable. So I can go through each of them and then see if they're the right candidate. Okay, and that is what I really like about Seek. It allows me or it assists me in picking the right applicants without going through a lot of steps. Okay, and then next, the interview, which is the most important part. So before, interviews are done physically, right? You need to be in front of the hiring manager, and then you're sweating there, but you should not show it, right? But for us, since we are in a different country with different time zones, we utilize video conferencing or digital phones. So before we use Zoom, but to streamline our processes, because once we pick the candidate, we would have to call them or email them, set up a Zoom meeting, but sometimes the candidate will not show up. So that's a waste of time and resources. So now with our digital phone, if we see a candidate that is perfect for the role, we give them a call. And if they're ready for the interview, we can proceed with the interview. It's just going to take 15 to 25 minutes. And then we continue the application process. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be asking right now, so do you get comments that maybe you're a scammer? All the time. All the time. So sometimes we call them and they were like, who are you? Why do you have my number? So that first 10 seconds, really expect that there will be a wall there. And you have to break that wall by explaining why you're calling and how did you find them. So I found your application on Seek and I wanted to interview you for this particular role. So if you can break that one, everything is smooth sailing. Because one thing I observe is that if we call people through their phone, we come up as more approachable and friendly, and the environment is more relaxed. And if the applicant is relaxed, they can share more information. And we can use that information to really assess if this is the right applicant. Okay? And then lastly, we do compliance. So we use a staffing software, and it's where the applicant will complete their profile and where we upload their documents, because regulatory standards, we need to have proper documentation, and we also have trainings as well as softwares that we use to see if this document is tampered or doctored or if it's the right one. So these are the tools that allows me to become an effective recruiter. And if we didn't apply this one, it would be impossible for me to do my role. And that is why I want to talk about why we should embrace digital transformation, especially if you are in a staffing or recruitment industry. Number one, it improves the overall experience. It's easy for the candidates to apply. Jobs are more accessible, so no need to go through the newspaper to look for a job or walk around the city. So you just go to your phone or your laptops and jobs are going to be there. And then for the recruiter as well, we can use different tools to make our assessment so much better, make it more objective, because of course there's recruiter bias, right? So with digital tools, we can diminish that one. Next, with digital transformation, it makes us competitive recruiters. So as everyone is competing for the perfect job, recruiters are also competing for the perfect employee or the skilled professional. So because we have the edge of using digital technology, we can make contact with them sooner than the others. Or that if there's this skilled individual and then there are like 3 other companies eyeing for this person, with digital technology, we have an edge. Okay? So we can reach out to them so much earlier, or we can offer them better terms and benefits. And lastly, which is something that we often forget, is the conservation of resources. So we no longer need to print out these resumes, and then later on it will become paper waste. And we also save time. Time is a non-renewable resource. So by removing what is redundant and time-consuming, we save a lot of time, which is good for everyone, right? But before I end this, little tour in the recruiter world, I want to leave you with some warnings. So just because digital transformation is very effective in the recruitment industry doesn't mean that we should remove the human from the human resources. AI, bots, technology, they may mimic our patterns, but they cannot copy how we decide or how we make judgment. So for example, going back to Seek, even if Seek tells me that this applicant is not the right fit for a particular client, if I go through the resume and realize this client, this applicant is perfect for a different client. Or even those top 20 or 30 applicants, if I read their resume and then during the phone call interview as well, and I realize that there's a lot of discrepancy, then I could decide to defer that applicant, okay? And then of course, digital transformation is only a shell without us. As what was explained by the other speakers earlier, we are the heart and the soul of digital transformation, of digital technology. So if we want to maximize the benefits of digital technology and the benefits that digital transformation can bring to our organization and to our society, there should be proper integration. And we do that by learning, by planning, by testing, and by constant communication by the people directly involved. And that is where I end our little tour in the digital world. Thank you so much.
All right. Oh, it's dead. Okay. Yeah, this works. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that with us today, Jamelin. And you know what? Before we give the time to our last speaker for today, I just want to really go down and interact with the audience a little bit. So maybe I'm just going to ask you what your key takeaway from Jamelin's talk. Maybe just one key takeaway. Maybe I'm going to ask you, sir. This is an ambush question. If not, you can pass the ball to him. Any key takeaway? Just one? That's fine. You can text me your answer later on. All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna walk over there. I think the microphone's cutting on and off, but that's all right. So in today's fast-paced, tech-driven world, the ability to ride the wave of digital transformation is what separates a forward-thinking organization. And I really hope that BSA will become one of that forward-thinking organization. Imagine what an AI can do, especially to what Jamelin said, for talent acquisition in the next 5 to 10 years. It's exciting stuff. All right, so our next speaker co-founded 2 Web3 communities in the Philippines. And that includes Filipinas NFT and Web3 Cebu. She educates and raises awareness about women's inclusion and spreading awareness and fostering the adoption of blockchain technology in Web3 in Cebu. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ms. Reina Luna.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. Wow, thank you so much for that introduction. I'm really honored to be here in front of you. And I was like asking if all of the people here from VSA, but thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge Marimar for inviting me for the very first engagement I had. I was one of the guests for the podcast. I think that was 2 months or 3 months ago. So thanks for inviting me again. And yeah, before I actually proceed to my presentation, I want to ask all of you here, if you can please raise your hand if you've ever heard the word crypto. Raise your hand if you've ever used crypto. Oh wow, the hand. Raise your hand if you know blockchain. Oh, good. So, well, I'm not going to deep dive into what this technology is, but I've been hearing a lot of AI, and one of the fast technology that's being adopted global right now, aside from AI, is actually blockchain. And enables crypto adoption as well. So this is one thing that probably 2 years ago, 2022, when I got back in Cebu, September, I realized now, wala may community sa Cebu. Like, naa siya groups, but wala siya community. And back then, pagbalik na ako, wala po ko yung network sa Cebu. I don't know what happened after 2 years. I was like, oh, building, leading this one. So later, I'll be sharing about my story. So my topic will be about Ride the Wave, seizing opportunities in digital transformation. So all of the topics a while ago were really good, and I do agree with all of those things, especially on how we position ourselves in this digital world. Kay ano pa nila, if dili nimo i-upskill imong self and dili ka mo magsige og learn kung unsa man ang mga trends karon, you'll be left behind. So that's very important, and yeah, you're so fortunate to actually have this kind of conference as well. So let me start my presentation with this question. Okay, I want you to actually internalize this question. Where will I be 5 years from now? Because the same question I asked myself 5 years ago. So you have to think about it, that after my presentation, you can have already idea where will you be 5 years from now. And we don't even know what will happen, what kind of technology we're actually doing or having in the next 5 years. So if you see this, these are some of the emerging technologies. So we actually call them emerging because it's not really that fast adopted yet, but it's already been there for many years. But in terms of the massive adoption, it's not yet. So we're actually still going and still a lot of experimentation. So one of the example, can you please raise your hand if you've heard the word metaverse? Okay, good. I believe you all actually heard all of these words. What about Web3? Please raise your hand if you heard the word Web3. Oh, guys, that's good. Okay, so you raised your hand when you said you heard crypto, and you raised your hand when you said blockchain. But Web3 is not yet that used, when in fact Web3 is the future internet. So I'll be sharing more about that one later. But anyway, I'm going back. These are some of the big technology that have been done recently. For example, if you heard about the news of Elon Musk Tesla creating this robots, these two cars, this self-driving one, pwede nimo i-grab, i-Uber without driver. So that's another thing. Meta Pro is also, you can do a lot with just sunglass. And then we also have the Bitcoin. If you know about BlackRock investing into crypto, they're like one of the big asset fund management as well. So that's a lot. And then metaverse, some of the big companies are involved. Even Facebook did that. So now, because I asked myself, right, 5 years ago, where will I be? 2020. It was the year where I actually quit my corporate job, and it was the year during like pandemic, right? So this was me 5 years ago. Okay, kasi nakagamit ng Upwork dire. Kamu kita dagan, no? So I was really my presentation was submitted 12 a.m. nagapon. Okay, I totally changed my presentation just for this event. So that's why I was searching up my experience, because I want to be relatable. I don't want to just talk about tech. So because my topic is right away. Now if you notice, Filipino freelancers, I even say hi po, I use all my connects sa Upwork, but I couldn't even find job. Baka may ma-offer po kayo. So I can do virtual assistant, data entry, appointment setter, and all of those katanan nga mga skills na pwede nimo to actually apply. And back then, 2020, although there's freelancing, it's not as big as it is now. So freelancing back then, I was one of the first, or actually was the first to quit my corporate to do freelancing in my batch. My course is industrial engineering, so layo kaayo, right? That's the reason. And then I was doing already, like in 2020, from engineer to freelance, and then COVID happened. So the reason why I got into freelance was because my story, nga gisulat na ko pag college, kay nabayran sa Wattpad. So I was one of the few first people to actually read and use Wattpad and do writing. And because of that, kay engineering man, gamay kang sweldo, I need to do part-time as a breadwinner as well. So that was my first job. So, ano ko lang, mas dako lagi ang sweldo kaysa sa 95. Like 2,000 for 3 hours for doing content writing And then 600 for 9 hours doing engineering. So that was my thinking back then in 2018. So, and then I got into 2020, so I think I need to pursue freelancing. Freelancing is another trend. Wala pa kayo na big trend that time. So I think I need to pursue. That was my thinking. But pandemic happened and it all changed my entire career. I'm not the kind of freelancer nga para sa mga 6 figures. My journey was like really roller coaster. Like asa man ko ani social media, even chat marimar before, uy kanang sa freelancer nga na. But so that's why I was able to try all this: content writing, social media, brand design, virtual assistant, ESL teacher. I was even doing SPED teacher and the same time college instructor in CTU. So daghan kikog nagian na. Back in 2020, 2021, I was so lost. Now, in the moment na I felt like going nowhere in life or my career. So I was already 3 years or 2 years in my career back then. So, and then bagyong Odette happened. So when the moment I'm gonna change my life na. The moment na magtarong na ako, I was really like, more ako na-depressed after 2021 kay murag, this is not me, like my engineering self was no longer competent. Now, I wanna go back kasi tarungan natin ni mag-freelance kasi nagbagyong edad man. Na nawagtangan pa dyan make-atop. So, and then nisud pa dyan kong freelance. So, it was very challenging. But that actually led me to go out, move out, kaya ngita ko kuryente. You know what? My very first client was actually NFT. I was doing social media. But, this was my first salary in crypto. I found that in Upwork. Malas ko sa Upwork ato, pero during pag-move out na, I need to actually search, NFT, pahala na yung social media. Nadawat man ko, but I don't even know what is NFT. Wala akong kaibaon sa ni, pero I need money. And you know what? My salary, akong na-close ato without knowing what NFT is, $1,000 per month. So, and then, ilan mo daw i-send via crypto? Kung saan yung crypto? Binance pa kong gamit ani, and they send it to me, Ethereum. Yan ako, nalagin ni Corta, Ethereum, pero ibagsak lagi gamay. So medyo, wala dyan kayo alam So ako siyang gihold, kaya ano sila, kasi mutaas niya. Muto, ni gamay ang sildo kanya, bagsak mo siya. So that was me 2020. I don't even know kung saan ko ninakaw, pero that actually led me to, I'm a very curious person, and I always like, okay, unsa may naaaning, anong kani ang gigamit sa mga tao. So, you just have to show up, go to ask people, go to community. And then, I got to, the word, what the F is Web3? So, I did research. Like, kita di ba, mag-year kasi we do research. So, this is what I've searched. It's like internet, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. So I did all of that, and then I found out that some of the big companies are already adapting to it. So some of these big examples are Burger King, Coca-Cola, Meta. So daghan kay siya mga big brands that are actually investing into NFTs, into crypto. And then my thinking magulbasay nga na, okay, if these companies are investing, pero wala pa siya sa mass, there's something in it. So, if makabantay mo, why are the first world countries are the first movers? Because they have that kind of thinking ba na they rather be pioneers than followers. And kita diri mostly sa third world kay, okay, kung unsay naaara mi. So, it's really a different mindset. And then, that's the thing. Big brands invested in NFT. And then, moto na curious ko, I need to know more. And then I got into research more and more into communities, and that's why I led into a lot of other communities. Na sila sa Discord. Back then, di pa man uso Telegram, so Discord dito sila. And then, that led me to a month later, I co-founded an NFT for a Filipinas NFT community for women in Web3, where we help women to get into Web3. And then later on, medyo naging active, balik na ko Cebu, I then created Web3 Cebu, even without a community. I just put the brand there and then try to keep my network, right? So, and then that led me to actually attending some big events and then getting some collaborations. And did you know in Web3 space, we are collaborating. We are actually into collaboration. And dili mo makita na even the founders, the CEOs, mura ra mag-equal So that's the kind of culture that we're building actually for most here. And then I got into starting to do speaking engagements. I was also handling Solana in Cebu. So I was leading the super team for them here. And then I was able to meet Nas daily in the Web3 committee in Manila. And then I was also, I was staffed with Binance to actually work to build, this was all in 2022. And then that time, that time, I don't even know much about crypto. So nag-work ako, but you just have to show up. You just have to be a fast learner. You just need to put out there and show up, and that you really to understand. So experience is the best teacher. I didn't know what is Web3 back then, but when I got into communities and when I got to meet people, that's the best teacher for me. So even when you read about blockchain and crypto, lisod unless you find someone that is already knowledgeable in that space. So what is Web3? For most of you who knows about crypto, let's go back to the era where internet was actually created. So when internet was created, and then it led to creation of the websites. Google, Yahoo, Wikipedia, but that's only read-only, it's not interactive. So when you actually do Google, you actually just search. Wikipedia, you just actually search. You consume information, print. So in reality, businesses get information, print it, and make it through flyers. So, wala ilang ipang spread. That's a very traditional marketing. But then, because of this, that led to, I need more interaction. So, it's where the social media era is. So this is where you get Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Not just read, but also write. So, you actually write. So, what's on your mind? Isuwat mo yung thoughts. So, internet has become more interactive. Okay, so that's where social media dominated. Now, from business and state flyers, it led to the bigger industry, which is the e-commerce and then online businesses. And then, now, because the problem of that, our data in Facebook, it's being sold to advertisers. Even though we're the ones who sell, we actually provide the content. These are being, dili nakakwarta ang Facebook. Mao na sa algorithm nimo mag-search og gani kag pagkaon, makapalit na jud kag pagkaon kaya puro naman pagkaon ng next na, di ba? So, but your data is not something that you own, right? So if mo shut down si Facebook, all of imong gipang-upload na photos dito mawala na because it's not something you own. And this is the problem that Web3 industry is solving to make it decentralized. Decentralization, make it peer-to-peer. Okay, that's where crypto, wala sila scam na. But the big use case of crypto is actually future of finance. My salary right now is actually in crypto. So even if mag-send ka from USA to your account, moabot na siya in less than a minute. Even if $1 million imong i-send. Pero kung mag $1 million ka to send to your bank, maamla ka. So and the difference is that there's only very small fee in crypto. Okay, so yeah, you can research more about it because this is the industry where we're heading. So to utilize Web3, it's where the blockchain technology is. And that's why more and more industries are doing blockchain, and then crypto is the one that's, the assets, the digital currency of that. So, okay, some of these big news: Dubai accepting crypto as a salary. Donald Trump declares crypto is the future. Singapore biggest bank launches Bitcoin and crypto. Even in Philippines, we're doing our own stable coins. So these are already, big industry, and a lot of people are not knowledgeable enough to do this. And this will impact the future of work as well. So if technology continues to advance industries, where will you be, right? So build a career in digital transformation. So what I did really is to build a career even walang pa. So you have to stay updated latest trends, continue learning, build personal brand. This is very important. So if you're so skilled in this tech, hindi ka ganun mawag-an tulong sa AI, build your personal brand. That's the only way for you to actually show up there and build your portfolio. So grow your network, find your community, keep open mind, go out of your comfort zone. So I'm already almost done with what I'm doing from zero knowledge to now leading the biggest community of Web3 in Cebu to creating my own company right now. That I work with CoinsPH, CoinEx, Polkadot, Solana, Bybit, this Trust Wallet, LBank, some of the big crypto in the world, companies actually that are entering Philippine markets. My position is that help them expand the Philippine market. So that's Wave. So we do events and marketing for them. And I was also acknowledged as being crypto influencer with influential women in crypto 2024, and also top Web3 leaders in the Philippines. So by just doing what I was curious at and what I was actually interested in. So you just have to ride the wave. The opportunities that you see, whether that's robots, crypto, Web3, AI, Metaverse, VR, AR, you have to stay updated of these trends. You have to continuously learning, because at the end, clients will ask you, do you accept crypto as a salary? No sir, that's a scam. Do you know how to build blockchain? No sir, okay, I need this. So sayang ang client. Do you have blockchain developers? No sir, oh, we need that one. So sayang, right? Because everything is moving that direction, blockchain and AI. So yeah, you just have to, as what Elma said, I could either watch it happen or be part of it. So my last slide is, in a world driven by innovation, will you be the disruptor or the disrupted? Thank you so much. So, get in touch with Rachel and yeah, thank you and have a great day.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Lynn, for that.